phenomenal change because it also has implications on transformational and social events in countries. The third aspect of of this demographic upheaval that David wanted to raise with all of you has to do with human longevity.
A demographic dividend, but then we have a significant group of countries of fragile states.
Sub-Saharan Africa in particular is growing much more rapidly than any other part of the world. I mean, there was in the 80s quite a significant drop in fertility in many countries, but what we're seeing since the late 1990s or beginning of the 2000s is that there is a stagnation in the fertility decline. The countries that were at the forefront of the transition, if you like, Kenya, Nigeria, and so on, they are stagnating at fertility levels around 4 or 5 per woman. And this is a huge area of concern.
The elderly are many, as we have just pointed out, 1.4 million or thereabout. The number is really rising very fast. There are various other economical challenges that have really come in with the large population. Now with also the problems we have in Africa, of adversaries of the weather, like in Kenya we've been having the problem of at one time we have floods, another time we have drought. Like at the moment we have almost half of the country, the size of Kenya, the half of it. People are starving because of drought.
The third point, very briefly, I think there are opportunities for sub-Saharan Africa to actively engage with the demographics.
It is an economic challenge, okay? Of course, there are solutions to everything. It's just going to be very costly. If you have a large number of people who are retired relative to those who are still working. Now, there are a number of solutions for this, including, for example, in some countries, perhaps extending the retirement age that will put off this, this difficulty.
You know, throughout the history of humankind, we had 3 or 4% of people in older age. Now it is about 12% globally, but in some countries it's 30%. And yet, we continue to have the same attitudes and denying to older people what they should have, which is the same rights as the rest of the population. You go to health services, there is discrimination. To educational, discrimination. Jobs, discrimination. You have elder abuse, neglect, abandon. All this has to be legalized, otherwise you cannot fight ageism and discrimination. There's going to be a major revolution within the next 5-10 years. That's soon. And this is because the baby boomer generation that was born from 1946 to early 60s, we are going to revolutionize what is the social construct of old age. Every single stage of life that we touch it, from adolescence to the sexual liberation, participation of women in the working force, Beatles, 1968, and fights and activism. That's us. Now that we are entering old age, in another few years there will be this bulge of more people that are not going to be passive. We are going to age loudly